Welcome back and happy Wednesday, Squirrel Nation. Today we are going to dive into my own personal Liliana gameplay. The focus of today's video will be how to recover when you're playing poorly. We had an interesting discussion pop up in our Discord about how it's important to let yourself be carried. Everybody is always talking about how to carry games, how to carry yourself out of a certain rank, but something that's almost never talked about, but I believe is equally as important, is how to let yourself be carried when you're having an off game or you just have teammates doing awesome. Anyways, as a side note though, before we dive in, I've been traveling. I have moved back to my home in Korea, so that's why the time zone has jumped and we're all the way to Wednesday. I also appreciate everybody's patience with my video being delayed, and then the other day I also had that very short video just because I was in transit and I didn't have time to go for a full video. So anyways, thank you guys for your understanding, and let's dive in. This is my Liliana game, or my basic generic build that I use. I go Phoenix tier into tier 2 boots. That I always do on any mage. After Phoenix tier, I will upgrade into Orb if I am behind in the game, if I think the game is going to go slow, if I'm not snowballing, I will go into Orb of the Magi. If I am snowballing, if I get early game kills and I feel like I'm just going to be able to be carrying the game heavily from the beginning, then I will forego Orb of the Magi because I feel it scales it slows you down if you are snowballing, and then I go straight into Boomstick and finish off the build. After the Boomstick, which gives me that 50% extra AoE damage, and which is really good on Liliana because Liliana, the mindset that I use when I'm playing her is I want to poke enemies, poke enemies, poke enemies, and then as soon as I get them low enough, maybe around like 30 to 40% HP, I dive in as Fox form and I clean up kills. So after that, I go Spooky Mask for the penetration, Hectates to amp up my ability power, Reyes to give me sustain while I'm poking in these late game fights. After Reyes, I upgrade the Spooky Mask into Staff of Null generally. And then as a 6th item, that's much more dependent. So anyways, that is my basic build. The Arcana are very basic. Violate, Benevolence, Flurry, the just standard mage Arcana. This is a casual game. One note about when you know you're having off games is don't play ranked. So in this case, I will say this is the only thing that I really give myself credit for is I was just having off games and I decided to just go into casual. Anyways, we have a Conqueror. The enemy team in this game, I believe, had 1 Conqueror and 2 Masters. And so this was a pretty broad spectrum of skill range, but it ends up interesting. But anyways, so with that, let's dive in. So here we go. As notes in this game, I'm playing poorly. I start to realize that things are just going bad, so I'm going to let myself be carried in this case. The people who do end up carrying are the Zephy's and the Val, and mostly the Zeph. Interestingly, the person who ends up doing the worst in the game, I would say, is actually Mina. So she's playing support, but she ends up away from our team very frequently. She's not really helping secure vision on objectives. So anyways, Mina's having an off game. I'm having an off game. And on this video, I'd like to focus on how to recover when you are having those type of just off games. So anyways, here, just doing the standard stuff. A lot of my off game has to do with 1, bad decisions, 2, bad micro, meaning I'm missing skill shots, I'm messing up combos, right? That type of stuff. And a lot more than the bad micro is just poor decisions. My rotations are not as good as they would normally be. If you notice throughout the game, I don't check gold. I don't check the enemy's builds or their resistances very often. So normally those are things that I check quite consistently. In this game, I mean, if you'll notice, I think the first time I even bring up the hero stat screen is maybe like 5 or 6 minutes into the game, which is very much not like me. So I noticed Liliana's top. There's a lot of them. They're putting emphasis up there. I'm just kind of checking health. There's nothing. I can't get there in time. So this is one. Here's the first example of poor rotation. I let the enemy mid get up top, and without me even attempting to rotate over there. So that was already poor play. Fortunately, my team is carrying me. The Val gets double kill. And so there you go. I'm already being carried. This dragon, same thing. You're going to just see things. You're going to see mistakes out of me that I just normally would never make. Right here, I'm taking dragon damage. If you notice, I just took quite a whole bar of damage off of that. I also positioned poorly. They just got a double kill top, yet I was positioned towards top instead of towards the middle. I should have been positioned middle for two reasons. One, if you notice, I just missed minion wave because it took me extra time to run back to my lane. Two, if enemies would have rotated to dragon, they would have been rotating from mid where we saw them. So I wasn't protecting the dragon from getting stolen. I missed lane XP and gold because of poor positioning. So anyways, just mistakes are happening. I think it's around this point that I start to realize, okay, I'm just playing really poorly. I need to just let myself be carried, minimize damage. So the question in everybody's mind should be, how do you minimize damage? The main way to minimize damage is don't give the enemies free kills. So in this game, I'm going to play safe. I wouldn't say I have no aggression, but my aggression I minimize if my team is not going to secure a kill. So if we're going to not at least get a traded kill, like 1-for-1 or 2-for-2, then I'm definitely not going to go in. And I'm just trying not to bait my team into bad fights because I'm doing poorly. And that's another thing. People do bait their teams into bad fights. Like, that is a reality of when you are off in a game. So anyways, I'll be just farming. I kind of decide if I miss some farm to be safe, then that's fine with me because I just want to let my Val, let my Zeph feed themselves and carry me. So anyways, we will keep going through that. I see they're going top, dragon's coming up, so I want to clear wave, and then I want to start securing that dragon area. Me and this Liliana just kind of having a poke. Another thing there that's bad, uncharacteristic play for me is if you notice, I'm only hitting the minions. So with my abilities, I was only hitting minions, even though the Liliana was right there. I could have hit her with my S1 when I was killing those minions, but I'm having an off game. So anyways, there, thankfully, I am still getting some poke in. The enemy is collapsing on us. We do decide this is a good fight, which I agree. This was actually a nice flash by me. I dodged Batman's ultimate and his Batarang, so that's good. I land a really good ultimate on two of them, and we clean up those kills. So that is probably the last of my good micro here. Is just terrible. I just completely misplay that. I should have used my ultimate more towards the tower, and then I should have had my stun ready for either the bush or when Nacroth try to dodge out of the bush. I knew he absolutely had to be in the bush. So that was just, that was terrible. I let him off for free. He never should have got away. This time I am rotating better, making it back. I see my team fighting. I do swipe up to check, which is good. So obviously it's not all completely bad. It's not like I'm just totally doing terrible, but I think most of you, especially if you've seen me play more, you can tell there are definitely a lot of mistakes that I'm making that I would normally never make. Another mistake. You can use Liliana's ultimate to dodge the tower because you have an iframe, right? Iframe is in an invulnerability frame, so when you use her ultimate, she is invulnerable between changing forms. So I could have used that to actually dodge that tower shot if I timed it right, but I didn't time it right because I'm playing terribly. So anyways, they see things happening bottom, but same thing is good, is right. So far, I'm not feeding any kills. Nothing too terrible is happening. My Val and my Zephs are getting more and more fed, which is good. Once again, if you notice there, I got indecisive. I was going to rotate bottom, which now is 4v1. I should have rotated bottom. I didn't. I then thought of going top, which already was starting to have the Mina and Val who are going back up there to clear. So you can just see the indecisive. I made a video that heavily focused on indecisiveness. Indecisiveness will kill you. Here, the Superman's just going to totally juke me. I thought he was going to go into that bush. I should have known he wasn't going to. You should always cover different ground with your teammates. So Zephys was he was angling to cut off the bush, which means I should have known that Superman's only escape route was to come out the back bush and come behind us, which he did. Another thing, I generally wouldn't make that's not the type of mistake I would normally make. So that was terrible. This Scud play we're about to see, I honestly just get lucky. So I'm hitting him here. Look, notice I attack the minion instead of him with my auto. That is a nice combo that I pulled off, which is you can Reiki and then flash away from it, and your Reiki will still go off. But that should have never needed to happen if I wouldn't have mistargeted onto the minion. The Scud would have been dead before I would have even had to flash before I even used Reiki. Also, that Reiki was kind of questionable at that point also. So these are just poor micro by me. Just, yeah, poor play by me. But anyways, if you notice, still, it's going good. Yeah, my, right, 5-0 and 6-0 on my Val and my Zephy's, right? My gold's second lowest on my team. But my team is obviously doing good. But, so at this point, right, I just kind of want to stick with my Fed people. Okay, Zeph's doing awesome. I'm going to hang out with him, just kind of protect him like we talked about. Or not even protect him. I'm going to kind of make space, give him vision. We did discuss, if you notice, Mina. Mina's not normally with the bulk of our team, so she's not doing more of the traditional support stuff. So you know what? Whatever, I'll be that traditional support stuff, right? The peeling, giving vision type of thing. And that's what's happening right here. I'm just kind of making space. I'm trying to keep Zeph alive. And we do get some good plays. But at the same time, like I talked about, I don't want to feed kills. So I see Batman, right? Normally, if I was having a good night, I would have been all over Batman because we could have killed him. But tonight, I'm just not landing skill shots. I'm just not making good decisions. And I just don't want to risk baiting my Zeph into a fight. So here we go. Again, bad micro. If you notice, I missed my dash. So Scud stayed on top of me and killed me. But, you know, my Zeph did have time to come back and get the kill. So in these cases, I want to say it's luck in a way that I got lucky that I did have good teammates to carry me. But at the same time, there is a certain skill to letting yourself be carried, right? Like when the Scud's chasing me, I'm running towards my Zeph. I'm going to kind of like let my teammates, you can ping, you can quick chat to let your teammates know what's happening. You can kind of turn yourself into bait. You can stop taking farm that you would normally take. If you were the one behind, so somebody asked the question, and I thought it was a good question, is, you know, when you're behind, what should you be doing? And to me, when you're behind, you should be giving up farm, right? Like, you always want to get farm on your best players. You don't want to get farm on your worst players. And sometimes you need to acknowledge that you're the worst player. Farm is not about, oh, I'm a carry, right? Farm is about who you want to be strongest so that they can carry you. And I understand, like, some supports, like Amina is not going to just straight out carry the same way that super fed Liliana or super fed Murad is going to carry. But it's still better to have a fed Mina or a fed support than it is to have a mage like a Liliana who's not landing skill shots, mistiming their combos, right? Like, so the mentality that I always take and I try to think about is who is doing the best on my team and how can they get more farm, and who is doing the worst and how can we minimize the amount of farm and gold getting funneled onto them. So here's good. I mean, my map awareness is still doing good. I catch up, get the kills, use the flash. So, you know, things are getting better, but honestly, the reason things look like they're getting better at this point is because my teams are carrying me, right? I came into that fight, they're already super low, they're super dead, and I just came to clean up. But you know, the skills look great and all, but that was honestly my team carrying me at that point and me just taking advantage of it. So around this point in the game, it seems like we're heavily favored, right? But you are going to notice we start to do poorly because all of us have seen this. There is an issue in this game where it's almost bad to start out too good. Because a lot of times when teams start out too good, they get overconfident and they start solo playing. They start making mistakes because they think that they're so far ahead and the win is already locked in. And you're going to see this from my team. Like right now, we're fighting without our Zeph, who is the most fed person, right? And these are the type of things that you can start doing to throw games. So it may not seem like it right now. We've only lost 1 tower, but we're actually going to be down 2 high ground towers, and we're only going to have 1 of theirs pretty shortly here in the game. And if you look at the current score, which is 26 to 10, you look at the gold level, you look at all these things, I mean, that's should be pretty surprising. So anyways, both of our 2 major damage carries, the people who have been doing good are top. I'm not recognizing this because I got into that like, oh yeah, we're doing good, woohoo, I'm just gonna, kind of have some fun, get some kills. I got overly cocky because I came to clean up some of my team's kills. Right here, bam, gonna get outplayed, miss, right? How many skill shots did I just miss? I think I missed like 2 or 3 skill shots, for sure 2, and really I would count 3 just terrible play, right? And yeah, I mean, at least I'm saying my bad, and then, yeah, anyways, this typing, not good either. I should have just turned it off. There's really no reason for me to be typing. So that's another thing where I say I'm just doing poorly. Yeah, and you can see. I mean, just look at this. Like, I could be checking gold right now. I could be checking the item builds, which I still haven't even checked. I mean, it's 13 minutes in. I think I've checked, what, like once or twice. Just terrible. So everybody is going to have these games. Like, every player. I don't care how good you are. Players have off games, especially when you're people you're grinding, hundreds of games a week. Like, maybe, I don't know, there's probably players out there doing 1,000 games a week. Who knows? But actually, I don't know if that's possible. But anyways, you get the point. So everybody's going to have them because we all only have so much energy, only so much focus, and, people do get worn out. But anyways, so I see people collapsing on Zeph. I'm just going to help him once again, kind of take the support role. Things are getting worrisome at this point. If you notice, we now lost 3 towers. And yeah, things are getting scary. So, still going, what we should be doing now as my team is we've been having major issues getting towers. So we should be trying to push the lanes, bottom and top. If you notice, they're actually on our side of the map, and we should try to go for Baron. So, and we talked about teams like splitting up. If you notice, our people are mid. I should have been there. Our Ryoma's already clearing bottom, yet for some reason I'm running down there to clear it also. Just poor play. We do get a high ground tower, but then it does end up costing us our Val, and then we're about to, chain reaction is triggering here, right? So these are things where if I would have been mid, Val never would have died because I could have made space for him. I could have stunned and flashed for him. Right there, I wasted my summoners. I didn't even get away, and that's an example. I baited my team. Ryoma wanted to come and help me, and yeah. So, anyways, I mean, things are, yeah, they're just starting to go a unpleasant way, and now I'm last in gold. The last in gold, though, I actually kind of take as a good point at this point because, like I said, I knew that I was doing poorly, and I didn't want to take a bunch of gold and a bunch of experience because I would prefer it to get on to my team. My team, you can tell, is getting tilted. Stupid Mina throwing GG coming from our Zephies. The Mina's just kind of, yeah, whatever. I mean, obviously, once again, this is casual, but, these things still occur in rank. So, anyways, because of this, we lose 2 high ground towers, right? So we went from we only had one tower lost, and now we are down to we only have 2 towers left on the entire map. So that is a massive swing. People on the team are getting tilted. Idiots can't clear waves, right? Like, starting to flame each other, everything. This is another point when chat starts to get to this level. This is where I turn off chat. I think it's better to just turn it off so you're not even reading these things. Because even if you think that they're not affecting you, sorry, they do. We're all human. You're still going to look down and read it. When you read somebody insulting you or just having a negative mentality, it's going to affect you. There's nothing else to say about it. So anyways, team, okay, we realized we were having issues pushing out waves, so now we are doing that, right? Zeph, I'm just like, okay, stay with Zeph, protect Zeph. If we're going to do anything in this game, it's for sure going to be because of Zeph, so all I care about is helping him. and just sticking with them. So thankfully, their Scud gets overly aggressive, tries to just do too much. You notice their Nacroth and Batman top are trying to push. Thankfully, our Val is guarding that, so we just keep pushing ahead. That time I did use my ultimate well. Bam! I missed again. Just terrible. My micro is just horrible at this point. It's honestly so bad that it's like shameful to show you guys this video, but it's because it's so shameful to show you guys this video that I want to show it, because I want to let you know that everybody has these games, and it even though it's really embarrassing to show people when you play this poorly, it's it's a very good thing for you to be able to admit to yourself and to others that you do have these off games. Because if you allow yourself to have really bad games like this, then when your teammates have bad games, you can understand. Like, you're more empathetic to their poor play. And that really matters because, you know, people, if you're in games and you want to start flaming people for being noobs, like, it just never helps you win more, right? But if you have that empathy of, you know what, sometimes I'm that noob, sometimes I'm the one just doing really poorly and my team is helping carry me, then it shows that genuine, like, empathy in your heart to your teammates, and it will help you in games. I mean, people don't like to think about the games they get carried because it's generally because they're playing poorly, and nobody wants to remember when they're playing poorly and they're the noob, they're the terrible player, but it is the reality. Right there, I Reiki shot. He's guaranteed dead. He's in between a Zeph and a Ryoma as a Batman late game. There's no way he's getting away. There's no way that he's not just going to get melted, and I literally take the time to Reiki shot. Like, that, just terrible plays. Terrible plays. But anyways, I really hope out of this video, and it's coming to a conclusion, I really hope that everybody does get that out. The reason I'm showing this, I know it's not ranked, I'm playing terribly, but that is why. I really just hope if you guys get one thing out of this game, it's that all of us have really bad games. Try to be compassionate when other people are having bad games. They may seem like they're noob. They may be a Maraude that's like 0-9 in the jungle. But guess what? It may just really, really be an off day for them. They may normally have a 60% win rate with Maraude, and, you know, things are good. But we all have those games. So try to be understanding, try to be empathetic and compassionate to other people when they're having off games, and just try to help carry them. And at the same time, accept when you're having a bad day, when you're having bad games, and let people carry you, you know? Don't be too proud to, like, oh, I'm playing poorly, so I'm just going to spend the whole game flaming my team because it must be their fault that I'm playing poorly, right? Like, I could have done the normal standard thing, and I could have just opened up chat and started blaming Mina, right? Oh, this platinum just, you know, she's not supporting me mid, so I'm feeding, and, you know, blame the world on her. And same thing, oh, this gold, we have a gold Ryoma, everything's terrible, and they're the reason for everything going poorly in this game, you know? And I could do that instead of looking at myself, looking in the mirror, saying, I'm missing skill shots left and right, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So anyways, hopefully that ends my rant. I really hope you all got the purpose out of this video, which is when you're doing poorly, acknowledge it. Don't be shy to show that you have off games, you have off days. That's why I'm showing you this really embarrassing footage, is to let you kind of see my weak side, just so that you guys are more comfortable doing it in the future. And anyways, that is the video. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Anybody wanting to join the Squirrel Nation Discord server, it is in the links below. And anyways, as always, have a great day and happy ranking, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.